All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Cerebral Conversations. I know it's been a minute, but I finally got a new guest on. And like I always say, all these interviews are going to be special, but this one is real special because it's someone I grew up with. We lived in the same neighborhood for a little bit, and I'm going to have him introduce himself.
What's up? What's up? I'm Jason. I'm a tattoo artist, also known as Jacey Loss. And yeah, we grew up together um pretty closely. Like you were like two doors down from me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. Those were the days. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish we could go back.
Yeah, it was less stressful back then because
Yep, definitely less stressful. We thought it was stressful, but it's not as stressful as adulthood.
no, it wasn't it wasn't
Absolutely.
anywhere near as stressful as now.
No, absolutely not,
It's a war
especially with
zone now.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
go in the pool and play video games all day. Play Tenkaichi.
yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep. I remember them days.
where I was whooping everybody's ass all the time. But
We're not about to do all that. We played on the Wii that one time, but that don't count. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, to basically get this interview started, since you've known me for a long time, I basically want to ask, was I like the first person that you met that had a disability that you got real close with, or
Yeah, yeah. Physical disability, definitely. And then, I met throughout the years more people on the spectrum, more of like uh like more of like mental disabilities, like, on the spectrum of like autism and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, like physical disabilities, yeah, definitely the first. I haven't met too many after that, but yeah.
that's actually good to know. That's
Hmm.
actually not what I don't want to say good to know, but it's like it's still crazy because whenever I ask people that question, they'll say the same thing, and it's like wow. And then they've met other people with like disabilities and stuff, and they kind of like take stuff from like me, and it's like oh, this is what he was dealing with, or this is how
Yeah.
yeah. So
Hmm.
um, so my first real question in the interview is um what got you started into drawing? Was it something that you've always liked to do? And like, how did that transition into tattooing?
Honestly, it started with my dad's side of the family was like always very artistic. And they all did like different forms of art, drawing, painting. My dad builds a lot of stuff, and you saw
Mm.
that firsthand.
Oh,
My
mm-hmm.
uncle used to like build um like natural features, like trees and lakes and all that kind of stuff. Like he would like create certain like really cool like stuff like that. And
Oh
then
shit.
my cousin, my older cousin Aaron specifically, he was drawing and he was into anime deeply too as a kid when I was growing up in New York. And he was extremely talented artist. Like his drawings were incredible. And he used to draw anime a lot. And so that's one of the reasons I got into anime and the main reason I got into drawing because I always saw his drawings and they were amazing and I wanted to learn. So like from a very, very, very young age, I picked up the pen. As soon as I started like writing and being able to like scribble and stuff like that, I've
Mm-hmm.
just been drawing ever since. And over the years, I've just been progressing and getting better and better and better through practice, and then transitioning to becoming a tattoo artist. Um, you know, I want to say in like when I went to college, I
Mm-hmm.
was doing a lot of graphic design and custom pieces, like custom artwork and stuff like that. And I was always trying to figure out a way to make, art like a full-time job successfully, like a full-time career successfully. And it was always difficult, because the competition is always high, like super, super high. It's a very competitive industry.
Mm-hmm.
And around that time in college and my older adult years, a lot of people were telling me, "Hey, you should learn how to tattoo. You should learn how to tattoo." And I was always like, and that's not what I want to do. Like, I don't want to do that with my art and yada, yada, yada. And then, push comes to shove when I got to like around 23, 24, I actually got my first tattoo and started getting tatted from them. Um, I got I met this tattoo artist that did a good amount of my tattoos, and me and him became like pretty close. Like we would hang out, stuff like that, go to movies, go to bars and stuff. And one day I just decided like I just asked him, I was like, hey, can you teach me how to tattoo? And he was like, yeah. And like, dude, ever since then, like I've been just so passionate about tattooing. Like, and it's just been like a burning fire within me that like has not quenched at all, bro. It's just been ever since then, I've just been like, this is it. This is what I want to do, and this is what I'm gonna do. So yeah, man.
Yeah. And I've definitely seen the progression from definitely from when you first started. Because there's sometimes where I'm looking and I'm like, wait, like he did that? Like that's how that like what? And sometimes I'm looking and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, damn, he's gotten a lot better. And I'm sitting and because I've been wanting tattoos myself, and I sit there and I think to myself, if I'm gonna get a tattoo, I'm gonna get one from you specifically first. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna I don't think I would want to go to anybody else.
and I appreciate that, man. I mean, it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of dedication. Throughout I've been tatting 3 years now, and
Mhm.
when I first started tattooing, like when I first got on a fake skin, I was immediately humbled. I was like, yo, can I
This
actually
isn't
do
like
this?
drawing on paper.
Yeah, it's nothing like drawing on paper. It's completely a different world. Like I had to start over from the beginning as an artist. And it's like at that time it was very humbling because I started around like 27, 28, learning how to tattoo. And around 27, 28, I've been drawing for 27, 28 years.
Mhm.
So I thought, I was pretty good. I'm pretty good at drawing and, coloring with like using color pencils and markers and stuff like that. I'm pretty good at that. So I was like, yeah, tattooing should be nothing. And as soon as I got into it, immediately it was like, no, this is a new thing. This is a different ball game. And it's difficult to learn and it's just as difficult to get better. So you have to
Mhm.
just continuously like I've met so many people that have been like, "Hey, I want to learn how to tattoo. I want to get into this industry." And a lot of times they get into it for the wrong reasons. And when they get into it, they notice quickly that this is not necessarily an easy way to make money. This is not no like easy way to create passive income. No, you have to have severe dedication and extreme passion for this if you're going to want to go anywhere with it. So I kind of attribute like that passion as like the reason that I've been able to progress like so quickly for the most
Mhm.
part.
Mhm.
Um, because when you have drive and when you have passion for something, um, you can get places fairly quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's something I definitely realized. And for and for tattooing, I'm assuming the part that like makes it difficult is especially with skin, because people have different types of skin, so you have to learn how to navigate the different types of skin, the different types of textures. So I'm assuming that's what made it a little bit more difficult than just drawing on paper.
Yeah, that you also have to be very careful not to overwork the skin because you can cause skin trauma.
Mm,
So like on paper, bro, you don't have to worry. You can keep coloring and coloring and coloring and you can sit there for hours and not have to worry about damaging anything. I mean, of course you can tear the paper and all that kind of stuff, but you won't be hurting somebody.
mm,
You won't be risking anybody's health. This is like it's you have to treat it as like a medical practice too, because you're dealing with blood, you're dealing with
needles.
people's skin. You're dealing with needles. You're dealing with people's skin, so you can damage their skin. You got to be very careful. And then also like there's that, and then there's the fact that a piece of paper is a flat surface. So there's not really any difficulty there. Whereas tattooing, you have different curves of the body and different parts of the body like that you tat. So like when they're all leaning different ways, and you have to kind of work with that as well, and it kind of creates some kind of discomfort. So like if I'm tattooing some like under somebody's arm, I might have to like crunch down and get that angle in and adjust how I'm like sitting and all that just to get into the skin properly. And then like you said, do have different skin textures. They have different skin tones, and that's something that you have to, think about too. Because like, if I'm dealing with somebody with a lighter skin tone, I could play with a little bit more shades, like a little bit more gradients of the shades. Like I can go with lighter tones. But if I'm doing someone that has like a darker tone, I have to think about that too. I might have to use like less shades, and create like darker contrast so that I can still get good value in those tattoos. Use some white maybe to get some good highlighting in it too. But yeah, man. And I've also noticed, some people's skin and like areas of their body and stuff like that will take the ink a lot easier and, just a lot better. Like sometimes the ink will go right in there. And then other times you have to try a little harder to get the ink in there. So that's something that also creates a little bit of difficulty.
So the next question I want to ask, and I've actually been wanting to ask you this for a minute because we've known each other for so long. Is there anything that you've noticed from me that kind of helps you, like just from how long we've known each other? I've
Yeah,
always
man.
been
I
curious
mean,
about that.
you had a physical disability, bro, but like, most of the time you didn't let it stop you. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to do something, you were going to do that. We were outside playing basketball all the time. And I bet that was, a lot more difficult for you to do because of your disability, but you were out there playing with us all the time. Um, I don't know how difficult it was swimming, but you were in the pool with us all the time. Um, yeah, man. So like I looked at that as like, I look at that as like every day you try to be grateful because it can be a lot more difficult for other people, but also you can use that as drive. Like I look at the things that you're doing, you're in the gym now, you're working out all the time. And even with a physical disability, obviously you didn't let that stop you from doing that. And to kind of like apply that drive to the industry that I'm in, it's an uphill battle all the time. Like it's a fight. I'm going against competitors all the time, and sometimes I feel like, well, a lot of the times I feel like my work isn't up to par with them. But I don't use that as like something to stop me from going. I use that as like drive to get better. So, and I've always seen that in you too. We're running around playing basketball and stuff like that, and um for us kids to be just going crazy and doing this, that, the other, and you alongside us doing that too. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people could use that as like drive and motivation to continue what they're doing. You know?
So, another question too that I've always been curious about, do you feel like the tattoo industry feels like somewhat sort of gatekeepy in a sense? Because I've always wondered that.
Um, there are artists that gatekeep, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. For the most part, not not that much. I think they used to gatekeep a lot more than they do now. But now there's a lot of artists on social media that are literally just giving the sauce up, bro. Like social media tattoo artists literally just go on there and tell you ways to get better. They're telling you ways to grow your business on the social media platform. They're just giving it out. You know what I'm saying? Some artists are saying, "Hey, man, you should keep the gatekeeping thing like alive just to keep this profession a little bit more exclusive." Um, but I think they still do some gatekeeping, but I think for the most part, like there are those social media presences that are just kind of like just literally throwing like information out there for everybody. Some of those social media presences are like charging people, so it's not per se like gatekeep, like they're not gatekeep anymore, but they're like making a profit off of it. And then think when I started learning how to tattoo, unfortunately, it was like difficult to get an apprenticeship because a lot of tattoo artists aren't really looking for apprentices. That's number one. And number two, a lot of tattoo artists that are looking for apprentices are charging a lot of money just for the apprenticeship. So I had a couple mentors. Um, And then I had a couple situations with mentors where they were like, "Hey, look, we're not doing the apprenticeship program anymore." So for the, for like a good portion of like the beginning of my career, I was getting advice, but I was kind of being more self-taught.
Hmm.
So I was teaching myself a lot of stuff, and I got to a point where I was pretty decent. And next thing you know, I'm working at a tattoo shop, like as an artist there. And luckily for me, at that tattoo shop, I was around the most incredible artists, man. They were all so talented, and they none of them gate kept any information. Any chance they had to give me like tips and tricks to better my work, they gave that to me. And I think while I was at the tattoo shop, I learned a lot. Um, and I got better very quickly just off the strength of like just the other artists there that were willing to give me information and give me tips to, better my artwork. So,
And it kind of, I don't want to say like, for me, it's not really the same, like as far as gatekeeping, but it's like I don't think I'd be. I mean, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I don't think I'd be in the position that I'm in without the mentors that I have, whether it just be, you know, people in, just regular gym goers, like just regular gym goers, the trainers that work at the gym, or even like, trying to build a business with stuff like this, and the finance stuff that I'm like inconsistent with, but still trying to build that up, and trying to build my TikTok up, and just having friends that are business owners too, and being able to see the other side. It kind of helps me realize like, oh, I can do it. I can, move forward and stuff. So it's always cool to, hang out with people that are more experienced in a certain profession and kind of see it from the other side. And it makes it more tangible, if that makes any sense.
yeah, and keep yourself around people that are not only in your industry, but just people that have business and stuff like that that can help you out with yours. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's really the people that you want to surround yourself with, people with drive, because they're only going to push you to move forward, and they're going
Yeah.
to teach you stuff you might not have known.
Hmm. So if we could move to a more personal side of things, just to keep things fluid, what's fatherhood been like for you? Because I know, because, you know, we see like fatherhood like on TV and stuff, and you have your dad. Um my dad unfortunately didn't live with me. I mean, he was a part of my life. He didn't live with me, but you
Yeah,
know. So what's fatherhood been like for you? Is it everything you thought was it gonna be, or is it like completely different?
I didn't know what to expect going into it. To be honest with you, I really didn't know. Like, yeah, I've always I've always loved kids,
Hmm.
so I always knew I wanted to have kids
Yeah.
someday, and you know, I, finally ended up having one, and it's, bro, to be honest with you, it's an absolute blessing. It's amazing. It's crazy, and um, I'm not gonna lie, like when I found out I was having a kid, I definitely wanted a boy. Like I was
Of
fully
course.
hoping for a boy, like 100%. Just because like I don't know, having a daughter seems kind of scary. But and then like on the gender reveal when it came up that I was having a girl, my life flashed before my eyes. But to be honest with you, now it's like having a daughter is so incredible. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I feel like she just loves her dad so much, and I couldn't imagine getting that feeling from a little like from a son. I mean, obviously I get that feeling, but it's I feel like it's so much different. Like
Yeah.
having like being a girl dad, it's like 100. It's like so much different. So now it's like whenever I do have more kids, it's like I was definitely hoping for a boy, but now it's like you know as long as the kid's healthy, I'll be happy. Because if I have another daughter, I'll be ecstatic, and if I have my first boy, I'll be just as ecstatic. So, but as far as like being a dad, it's definitely a learning experience, like literally every day. Because when
Hmm.
they were like when they're an infant, a newborn, there's so much like things you have to do and so much care you have to take, and just being very, very, very careful when holding or just caring for the child. And
Mm.
now she's older now. She's 2. She's walking around. She's running around. She's making messes. She's talking. So that's different. And like uh, every day she's learning like new words and stuff like that. So anytime she says something new, it's like hilarious. Like sometimes it's just absolutely hilarious and just like heartwarming and stuff. So I love it. It's amazing,
Yeah.
truthfully.
Yeah. I know you probably have to sit there sometimes when she says something and it's like, where did you learn this? I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
with you all day.
yeah, yeah. No,
I've been
seriously.
with you all day. When did you learn this? I'm pretty sure I didn't put that on TV or anything. When did you learn this?
That's a lot of repetition and stuff like that. So she'll learn stuff from like her little shows that she watches and stuff like that. Like she'll sing certain songs that she hears on her little shows. She'll ask me to put on a show like that she wants to watch. And she has baby talk, so like just have to like know what she's talking about because sometimes it just doesn't sound like English.
Of
Um,
course.
so she does learn. She like anytime she learns something new. Like the first time she told me she loved me, it was so amazing. Like
I could only imagine. I can't wait for that day.
yeah, it was just so amazing because I was just like, we were trying so hard, like for so long to get her to say it. Because around this time, she was already saying mommy, daddy, auntie, grandpa, grandma. Like she was saying all these words. She was saying hi. She was saying bye. She was saying see you later. But she just refused to say I love you. Like she just wasn't saying it for just the longest time. And then one day, like, um, she was just in the car. She was going back home with her mom, and I was at my cousin's house, and I said it, and she said it back, and I looked at her mom, and her mom was kind of annoyed because she said it to me first, and she also said she said, "Daddy." That was her first word was like dad, dad, daddy. So like at this point, her mom was just fed up. At this point, she's like, "Bruh, it's always you," you know.
It's like, are you sure this is my kid? Because she seems to like you more.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know, it's just amazing, really. It's funny too. Like she cracks me up. She does things that are just hilarious.
So does it, just to stick on this for a little bit, does it kind of freak you out how like independent she's becoming so fast?
Yeah, it's I want to say it's relieving more so than it freaks me out because I know the more independent she gets, the less I have to do. Like, the less I
Mm,
have to deal with. Like, when they're a baby, you have to do so much for them and stuff like that. But the older they get, they start being able to do things for themselves. Like, uh, she kind of sucks when it comes to like feeding herself. Like, I'll make her a little plate, put it down in front of her on her little table, and her motor skills aren't that great. So like when she tries to eat with a fork or a spoon and stuff, she's makes an absolute mess of the table, of her floor. Food gets on the floor. So like a lot of the times I'll just feed her. Like
mm,
I prefer to just like feed her, but like uh, you know, every day she gets closer and closer to that time where she'll just be able to fully like eat on her own without making that much of a mess. So that's where we're inching towards right now, you know.
yeah. I know, and then I know you probably sit there thinking to yourself, like, damn, is this how our parents felt?
Oh yeah, oh man, at this age, you start to realize how much like your your parents actually didn't know.
Hmm.
Like they were learning too. And it was weird because as a kid, I always felt like my parents knew everything. Like
Yep.
they were getting stuff done. They were like just they were taking care of us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Any hardship that they had, we didn't notice,
Nope.
because they were just kind of just, rolling with the punches and getting through it. But at this age, you start to realize that, damn, maybe they didn't have everything together. Because
Yep.
now I'm at this age where I'm a dad, and not only just being a dad, but everything in life, like working, having a job, paying bills, having aspirations, falling short, being stressed out. Like you start to realize that, like my parents were going through all of this too as I was growing up. I just kind of just didn't see it because they kind of like they were really good at hiding that from us, I guess, in a sense.
Hmm.
So now it's like, damn, they didn't really know anything, and now I'm an adult that really doesn't know anything either. I'm just rolling with the punches. I'm learning. I'm learning from myself. I'm learning from other people. Learning from my daughter.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, because growing up, you think like, oh, you live in this nice house. You think you guys got like, I mean, not rich, but you think you guys got at least a little bit of money and all that stuff. You get older and then you start to realize what the workforce is like and making money.
yeah,
It's like, damn,
it's
we
like,
didn't
damn,
really have shit.
how are y'all doing this? I
Like,
think the
how are
cost
we
of
not?
living,
Like, how are we not? Like there was points where I'm sitting there like damn, we're really going like we we're really going through it. How do we not have a house? How do we
yeah,
have a house still? It's like damn.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like back then the cost of living was less, and like the wages were better as far as like keeping up with the cost of living. Right now, I feel like the cost of living um is definitely like higher, and that's why
Hmm.
I feel like now like my friends and my family around my age, I'll go to their houses and their apartments and stuff like that. Nobody has china cabinets anymore because who's gonna spend money on china cabinets? We're too busy spending money on bills. Back then, when I was a kid, every house had a china cabinet. Every
Shit.
single house that I went in, they had a china cabinet. They had couches that you weren't allowed to sit on.
Yep.
They were just for decoration.
Yep.
Like, and bro, I got I got a couple couches in here, but best believe we're sitting on them. Like that's not
Yep.
for decoration. These are for sitting.
Yep.
I don't have a decoration couch. I don't have a china cabinet. And
Yep.
yeah, every time I go somewhere, like, and maybe like maybe it's just the interest, like people just aren't interested in that kind of thing anymore. But I don't know. For me, it just seems like I started seeing it less and less growing up, and I just kind of thought, because the cost of living was higher now, people aren't buying stuff like that anymore.
Nope. And if they do, it's a decision. It's okay. If I buy this, am I gonna be able to make? Am I gonna be able to eat? Am I gonna be
Yeah,
able to pay my life? Like all this other stuff. Thank
yeah,
Thankfully, I'm still living at home at the moment. I
hmm
don't really like the fact that I'm still living at home, but because of everything that's going on, and I'm still trying to save up for a car and everything.
hmm
I mean, it helps that I'm still living at home, even though I sometimes feel like I'm lagging behind socially. I think the fact that I'm living at home right now, that when I finally do get out on my own, it's gonna help me in the long run because I'm able to see the pitfalls, see the mistakes, and not and know not to do those certain things, and just improve.
yeah. I mean, it definitely gets harder when you leave the home, because now you just like all the responsibilities fall on you. You know what I'm saying? You got to
Mhm.
handle the bills. You got to pay your rent. You got to pay if you buy a house, you got to pay your mortgage. If you have a car, you got to pay your car note, insurance, all that kind of stuff. That's on you, you
Yeah.
know. That's what I was saying. Like, like now that I'm at that age, where I'm doing that, I realize that, my parents they didn't really know a lot
Yeah.
as
Nope.
much as I thought they did, because I
Nope.
don't.
Nope. And you're
But
sitting there asking
I
them all these
also fully
complicated
feel like
questions.
my parents. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie though. I definitely know for a fact my parents had it all together than I do. Um, you know, my parents were kind of like my parents were and still are like superhumans. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
they get shit done. Like, so I could always get the advice from them. And it's just try. I feel like I'm definitely not there, but like what I'm saying, I'm on the way to being closer, like closer to what they were. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
As an adult, like I'm getting closer to like figuring stuff out. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's not easy when you move out, bro. You just gotta, yeah. Like I remember back then, like I was saying out when back then we were just always outside and playing and stuff like that. Like just so we had a lot less to worry about. We didn't have to pay bills. Um, a, any food we ate came from our parents. We weren't spending money on food. Our parents were cooking and making food, or if they didn't cook that day, they brought us food from outside, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
now, like, you have to cook for yourself. You gotta go out and get food if you're hungry. And that's kind of the way it is when leave the house. Sometimes I miss,
Yep.
living with my parents. It was a little easier.
Yep. For sure. So,
But then I remember like there's a lot less freedom.
yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we only have a few minutes left on the Zoom call, so I don't want to, you know, keep it going too long to where it cuts off because I've had that happen a couple times. But
Okay.
so yeah, so just for the last question that I want to ask, just to wrap it up, what advice do you have for anyone that wants to get into your profession? And what advice do you have just in general for anyone that's, a first time dad or, that's been a father for a little bit?
So for anybody that wants to get into my profession, please don't get into this if you don't know how to draw or paint. Like, there's a lot of people that think tattooing is cool. It's a cool industry to get into. It's a dope way to make money, and it's fun, and they romanticize it, and that's
Hmm.
cool and all. But if you don't know how to draw and you don't know how to paint, like uh I now to be honest with you, I know people that don't know how to draw or paint and got into the tattoo industry and do like pretty well. But for the most part, it's not like something that you can, if you have no artistic ability, it's not something you can just like jump into.
Hmm.
Um, Especially if you don't have that drive or that passion. You have to have that drive and that passion if you're gonna go anywhere. Don't come into this industry hoping that you're just gonna make money and have make money in a fun way and be your own boss. No, bro. Like if you have a passion for art and you're good at drawing and painting, yeah, take it up. Then maybe you should take it up. As far as like being a dad, just be there for your kid. I mean, I can't really say anything much more than that because everybody has different parenting styles.
Hmm.
Um, so my advice is just like be there for your kid and be willing to learn because it's a learning experience. And for those dads out there that if it doesn't work out in the relationship, still, put an effort to take care of the kid's mom too, because if she's taken care of, then so is the kid, you know. And if she's happy and happy with you, uh, then you don't have to worry about any baby mama drama.
Yep, that's the one thing. That's the one thing nobody wants to worry about is that.
Yeah, yeah, man. Like think about the mother too, so you don't have to end up with baby mama drama.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But
Yeah,
all right, so that has been another episode of Cerebral Conversations. I want to say thank you to Jason for being on because he definitely did not have to do this, and we've been friends for a long ass time, and I've been thinking about having you on for a minute, so I'm glad you're able to do this. I'm glad we were able to catch up. And just to let you know too, I should be coming there for my birthday, and I should be coming to Georgia for my birthday in November. So we should definitely link up and do something.
all right, bro. Come get tatted.
Uh, If I got the money for that, I will.
Get a birthday tat.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to make sure I pay you. I don't want to be one of those dudes. Yo, give me the homie discount X, Y, and Z. I'm like, no. If I want to pay, if I'm gonna get tattooed, I want to make sure you're compensated right. So,
Hey, appreciate that, man.
yeah. All right. So, yeah, definitely. I'll definitely link your stuff in the description of the video. In the description of the video, I'll make sure your stuff gets linked where people can follow you and stuff like that. So, again, thanks for being on. This has been another episode of Cerebral Conversations, and I'll catch you guys on the
No
next
problem,
one.
bro.
Okay.
All right.
Did my thing freeze? I think it's frozen. Oh, there we go.